So today is October 10th, 2024. Just so happens I started my consulting business called GlobalCove Technologies, where I created custom software for my clients. I started that 14 years ago on October 10th, 2010. Also, 10, 10, 10. Or, if you use in binary, 101010. So if you take that 101010 in binary and you convert it to decimal, it's actually 42. I did that on purpose. I started my business on October 10th of 2010 so that the beginning date of 10-10-10 would come up to 42. Because for all my Hitchhiker guides to the galaxy fellow geeks out there, 42 is the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. So what's ironic here, 14 years later, is I've done many different things with this business over these last 14 years. In fact, the first 4, I don't remember what all I did to actually bring in some money. I probably had just a few little consulting gigs or something. But I was CTO at a company at the time. And I didn't leave that company until 2014 when I left to do my company full time. So for the first 4 years, even though I started the company on 10-10-10, I didn't actually jump into my company full time until the end of November of 2014. And that's when I did full-time consulting. And I did that for a couple of years. And then I found out about this device called the HoloLens from Microsoft. And I spent 2 years learning everything I could about that device, teaching other developers everything I could about that device, had a membership site, had 50 engaged members paying me every month. But the amount of developers that was interested in that device was very small. I was expecting it to be a consumer device. It was not a consumer device. I think that was the plan initially by Microsoft to make it a consumer device. To begin with, it was a $3,000 device, so obviously out of the gate it wasn't. And the military used it, and some big corporations used it to help people in the field work on things, maintenance type of stuff, because it was an augmented reality device. So if you're familiar with the Vision Pro from Apple that came out earlier this year, Microsoft had a device like that, and still do. It came out in 2016, so a little bit ago. I just thought it was going to be the future. And so I kind of put all my eggs in that basket. As I was winding down consulting projects, I was not bringing on anything else because this HoloLens thing was going to be the future and it was going to be awesome. Well, like I said, I only had 50 people, which is great, but we only charge them $30 a month. It's kind of hard to live off $1,500 a month. So, and since I didn't actually focus on bringing in new clients, my wife was extremely nervous and told me I needed to go and get a job. So I did. So I went back into the corporate world, actually went to work for a large bank, and did that for a number of years. Now, while I was at the bank, I actually still took on some consulting clients. But what was interesting, something I learned while I was there, was I could easily double my prices because I didn't need the gigs. I didn't need the work. And so I raised my price to actually trying to deter some of the work that was coming my way. But that's why I found out that if somebody wants to work with you, they want to work with you. So if you can become the person that people want to say yes to, then you can basically name whatever price that you want. I mean, there are restrictions, but not by a lot. So that's kind of where I learned that. Ended up, I left the bank, went back doing full-time consulting, and now I'm transitioning out of consulting here in 2024 14 years after I started my company, 10 years after jumping out full-time first time around. And now I'm actually coaching consultants on how they can double their revenue and work half the time. Because what I found as a consultant was I spent entirely too much time working. I worked very, very hard. I helped my clients in wonderful ways, but I sacrificed my family in the process, to the point that I really couldn't have conversations about my business with my wife, because she would say, when you talk to me about your business, it's like you're talking to me about the other woman. Yeah, that hurt. But she wasn't wrong, right? Because there's so much time that I was spending on my job, trying to make it work, trying to do things, working hard, working extremely hard. Because I was after that freedom, after that fulfillment, after that business success. Ended up that once I kind of put that to the side and had my priorities right and was truly focusing on my family, then my business actually started doing really well. So, why do I tell you this? Well, it's just a way for me to celebrate my 14-year anniversary with my business, but to also just share with you that whatever you're thinking about doing right now, whether you're wanting to start your own business or likely you're already in a business and you're trying to determine if you should pivot or change or whatever, just know that life is not a straight line. You don't simply go from point A to point B. Instead, you zigzag. Where you think you're going to end up probably isn't where you're going to end up. But that's okay. It's just reason not to be a perfectionist. Because the thing that brings clarity is action. Action. Taking action is what brings clarity. So I've done a bunch of different things in this business, from custom software development, creating prototypes, consulting business owners, helping with marketing, and now transitioning to coaching. Taking action is what brings clarity. I have an upcoming challenge you may be interested in. It's called the Work Smarter Challenge. And in it, I teach concepts that I learned on this 14-year journey that I've been on. And I want to help you not find yourself in the same situation I found myself in. I don't want you to sacrifice your family, to potentially lose them because you're working too hard. There's ways to have success without killing yourself. So if you feel that you're overworked, that you don't have a moment to breathe, may I suggest that you join the challenge. There's a small commitment from a financial perspective, but the bigger commitment is the time that it will take. Between 5 and 10 hours of your time that week. And when you already feel like you just can't do any more, I know, it's like, where am I going to get 10 hours? But you need to pull your head up long enough in order to start working on your business instead of in your business, so that you can learn how to work smarter. And that happens through thinking harder. That's what I'm going to help you with in this challenge. So I hope you'll join me. The link is in the description.